Hello, welcome once again to Pale Blooms and Beyond. Thank you for joining us today. If you like the programming you see here and the musicians and artists I visit with, please be sure and hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Al Collinsworth and Steve DeMoss are both members of the Kentucky-based progressive band Pre. Al began his career singing in the band The Outcasts. The band released one single, 1968's Loving You Sometimes. Fast forward to 1972, where Al vocals and Steve bass would be joined by Brian E. Paulson keyboards, Dwight Dunlap drums, and Al's brother Larry on guitar. The band was christened Pre, P-R-E, short for Progressive Rock Experience. There was an album recorded in 1973, but was unreleased at the time. In 1992, the album would see its first release on ZNR Records. And now a brand new release coming up on January 7th on PQR Records. A lot of abbreviations here, including 3 bonus tracks. The album will be available on vinyl in 4 color choices and on CD. And that's not all the news. Al also has a solo album coming out next year entitled Après Pre. Al sings and plays guitar, Steve plays bass, Pete Van Boeven plays keyboards, Brian Jones on keyboards and drums, and Larry Collinsworth contributes guitar. Well, welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do I need to go by initials?
Yeah, we'll just
AAC.
We'll just go by initials from now on out. Well, let's get a little background here. Al, you want to go first?
Sure. Okay.
Talk about where you were born.
Yes. Thank you. I was born in Portsmouth, Ohio, which is a little industrial town on the Ohio River where the Erie Canal used to connect. It was a big steel mill, and it was also the biggest city of the Hopewell Indian mound builders. And there are 2 large mounds in Portsmouth where they put the Little League baseball field right next to it. So we used to play baseball and then play on the mounds. But
Is that right? Baseball is my favorite sport.
me too.
I played it when I was in Little League and up through my teens. Well, as far as do you remember hearing music in the household growing up?
Yes, my mother played piano. My father played guitar. I had an uncle who was an opera singer who ended up singing at a church there, and I used to listen to him do his scales every Sunday morning. And yeah, lots of music. I didn't mention Roy Rogers was from there. There was always the Roy Rogers records sitting around. So
Right, the occasional Roy Rogers.
yes,
Well, what was the first instrument you learned to play?
guitar.
Okay. How old were you?
I was probably 14. It was in the middle of the hootenanny stuff. So I got my father's guitar and learned to play Michael Row the Boat to Shore and all those things, and a couple of
Okay.
Bob Dylan songs here and there.
Oh, okay. So you had that folk influence. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Right, right. Well, can you remember one of the first 45s or albums that you got?
Uh, well, uh, when I was a kid, my parents let me buy the Lone Ranger.
Oh, is that right?
Got the whole
Okay.
story, but I guess the first 45 I ever bought would have been a Beatles song.
Okay. Okay.
Probably She Loves You.
All right. This is pretty cringeworthy, but I blame it on my age. But my first album was do you remember the Royal Guardsman with the Snoopy versus the Red?
Yes.
Yes, that was my first one. Snoopy versus the Red Baron. Wow. So not the most proud moment in my life, but I was a
Oh,
kid.
Snoopy was cool.
Yeah. Joe Cool. Yes, yes, exactly. Well, how about the first live concert that you attended?
Left Bank.
Oh, really?
Oh, I loved them.
Oh,
And the
me
second one
too.
was Jimi Hendrix.
The Left Bank. I love that Baroque pop. Oh
Oh, yeah,
man.
they were great that night. They
Oh,
were
that
really good.
sound. Yes,
And I
yes.
got to be Facebook friends with Tom Finn later on. I told him the stories, and we had gone to New York we wanted to see their office. We went to the office and hung out.
Yeah.
And they were really busy. And Tom asked me, "Was I rude to you? We were pretty busy." I said, "No,
Oh,
no, we were happy to be there."
oh wow. Pretty Ballerina and Walk
Oh
Away
yeah,
Renee. Oh man, classic tracks.
Desiree. I like
Oh,
Desiree.
oh, that's another one. That's another one. Well, switch over to you, Steve, and the same questions. Um, where were you born?
I was born in Evansville, Indiana,
Okay.
and moved to Hopkinsville, Kentucky when I was 13.
Okay.
I did most of my growing up down there, but we had a lot of music around the house. My dad was a music fan. He liked show tunes and things like that, and they got me started on piano lessons when I was 8 years old. And around that same time, or no, a little bit later than that, I guess I started in the school band, played clarinet in the school band. Uh,
They said the earlier you learn piano, the better. We talked before, Al, before we started recording.
Yes.
I said I wanted to learn piano at one point, but I didn't have the discipline for it. So and maybe if I had been younger, I could have done that. Well, so there was music. Were either one of your parents musically inclined, Steve?
no, neither one of them played anything. My dad was a commercial photographer, and my mom was a housewife. But my dad, the photographic thing, that's creative and
Yeah.
a really good photographer. But so that was we had a piano in the house, and of course I got my clarinet when I was old enough, and in fifth grade, and from there, then I didn't start playing uh, a fretted instrument until I moved down here, and when I was 13, I got a bass for Christmas, and
All right.
that's
All
how
right.
I started
So
playing.
you're playing a lot of different instruments. It seems like. Well, can you remember your first 45 or album?
It probably was "Do You Want to Know a Secret" by the Beatles on VJ Records because
On
the
BJ, right?
Capitol didn't want to bring them into this country yet, and so they put that out on VJ. But I like that, and,
Yeah. Wow. VJ, exactly, man. That brings back memories.
and I'm
Well,
sure one of my first albums was probably a Beatles album too.
okay. Okay. Well, how about the first live concert that you attended that you went to?
Grand Funk Railroad.
Oh, one of my top favorite bands. Oh man.
Yeah,
Mark Farner. Oh God. I mean, what a sound for a three-piece too. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. It was that was a fun show, and shortly after that, Led Zeppelin.
Oh, did you?
In 1970. I was a senior in high school.
19.
Uh,
Did you happen to watch the latest how they got started? I don't remember the name of it, but the Zeppelin documentary.
yeah,
It's, the beginning. I think
yeah,
that's what. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And it's 1970. I think that might have been the same tour. Of course, I was too young, but they came here to Dallas in the area. And of course, like I said, if I'd maybe been born a few years earlier, I would have gone. But I was too young at the time. So
Well, they
wow.
were touring to promote Led Zeppelin 2, but they were playing songs that we wouldn't hear until Led Zeppelin 3, and uh,
Yeah.
maybe there was one that went up on the fourth album. But they were, and I had seventh row seats right in front of Jimmy Page, so uh, right on the floor, and it was and the tickets probably cost all of like $5 and a half then.
Right. It
Um,
was cheap. Yeah.
but it was that was a great show, and of course they were rock gods. I mean, Plant got out there and strutted his stuff with his shirt wide open, and I mean, but they were all just. And uh, Bonham did his long drum solo where he threw the sticks away halfway through the solo, played with his hands. We were all just fascinated by him, and it was a good show. They were just the musical aspect was still just top notch. So.
Right. We'll talk about some other musical influences for you.
Uh, well, of course, I've always been. People ask me what kind of music I like, and say anything that's interesting to listen to or play. Um, so when I discovered progressive rock, bands like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and Yes became uh, it kind of loomed large in my radar, and so I think somebody turned me on to the Yes album, the first, that the third Yes album, and from there I was hooked on them, and of course Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Anything that was interesting to listen to, I was on all about it. Uh,
Yeah.
I couldn't necessarily play it at that time, but uh, yeah,
I was lucky enough to at least be able to see Yes. I saw Yes a couple of times, and I saw Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Yeah. That's what I
yeah.
was-
And Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and anything like I said, anything that was challenging or interesting to listen to, and I'd sometimes I'd buy albums that I hadn't heard or heard the artist just because the cover looked interesting and it looked like they might be
Yeah.
going down a road that I'd be interested to travel. And sometimes they were, and sometimes they weren't. But
I did the same thing. I was talking to a guy recently about the just basing on the cover. I bought some albums. Well, Al, back to you. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, I apologize for the cough.
Could I add to that just a little bit?
Yeah, that's why.
Speaking of Keith Emerson, I saw the Nice at Ungano's in New York City.
Oh, did you
on their
really?
tour.
Oh,
And then right after that, Argent came with Russ Ballard.
yes.
And then
Yeah.
Terry Reid came to town.
Oh,
I saw him at Steve Paul's scene. I mean, I wish at that time I'd lived there, but
right.
it was great vacation time.
Super lungs. Yeah, and he almost got the gig with Zeppelin.
And
Yeah.
he would have done it well.
Yes, he would have. Wow, what a difference that would have made, too. Wow, very interesting. You guys saw some great bands back in
Probably because we weren't playing anywhere.
you had the time, but it was so much cheaper, like you said. To go, wow, yes.
Well, Ungano's was a great place for bands. You see bands in New York City in bars that play the big stadiums, and it's just amazing. They play the same in the small room as they do in the big room.
Right, exactly. My first was 76 Chicago. I saw Chicago, yeah. First. And then my second one was like the other end of the spectrum, Frank Zappa. So my first two. Wow, we'll talk about, were the Outcasts for you, Al? Was that your first band?
That was the first band that that was my first recording, first song I ever wrote. And through the years, I was thinking, oh no, it's so old and dated. And I'd hear it come on. I'd close the door and hide. But I heard someone talking about that on one of your sites. But anyway, they were talking about how McCartney told them, well, there's a lot more to me now than there was then. So that's kind of encouraging.
Yes.
I don't have to hide anymore.
No, you don't. Yeah. 1968, Loving You Sometimes.
With Ralph Mormon was another singer, and he played with Joe Perry and Savoy Brown.
Yes.
And we had pretty much good musicians for that area at that time. We were all just out of high school and eating it up.
I imagine you were. Well, how did the song become so popular more recently with funk and hip hop?
I blame DJ Shadow.
Okay.
DJ Shadow and Lucas Cut Chemist, they did a version on their product placement CD. And that's when I started getting phone calls from people, and I thought, well, this is a joke. You're playing a joke on me. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then I heard the best version I've heard it so far was a young woman from Brooklyn, Scout Gillette, did that song.
Okay.
I think she did the best version of it, and made me able to listen to the song after that.
Yeah.
So 50, 60 years, you go, oh, please, I was in grade school,
You're right. It's so fascinating to me to hear how, these samples will come out in different genres like that, and wow, very, very cool. And the song has been re-released several times over the years as well.
Yeah. Well, James Pogson just released it on his Symphonical Records. He's a great guy. He's really encouraging. He has a soul label, and I was telling my friends, well, I'm a soul singer now. And what George is doing is just fantastic.
Isn't it? Yeah. I just talking before, to Steve about that. He approached me and he saw one of my interviews or something, maybe a progressive artist, and he said, check out my site, and everything. And if there's any bands of interest, feel free, So that's how you guys came up, and a couple of others as well. So
Easter Island too.
Yeah. Yes. And there's one out of New Orleans, which was strange to me. And I reached out to him. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
I'm not familiar with them.
Okay, yeah. And I hadn't heard back yet. I don't remember the guy's name either. But all right. Well, what was
you interviewed Derek Shulman recently too, didn't you?
Yes, I sure did, Jim.
Gentle Giant.
I got
They blew me
I got
away.
to see them a couple of times.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. And
I
I was
saw them
like,
at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, and it was just
I was going to say,
tremendous.
I was lucky enough to see them. It was towards the end. It was after their last album. Yeah, that they 1980, I think it was. But, but they were there in fine form. You know, they were that night
I
as well.
saw them when they opened for Jethro Tull.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
yeah.
They were just getting really going in this country, and they was a fun band to watch play live too. They were a ball of fire on stage.
Yes, yeah. I was fortunate enough to see Jethro as well, and Genesis was another one I was lucky enough to
All
see.
those bands, I saw Jethro Tull at the Fillmore, and then I saw Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway in Columbus, Ohio. And, and you go in, we went in there and we didn't know what was going to be played. The album wasn't out. They gave a copy of the lyrics at the door, and that's all they gave you.
That's all they gave you. Wow.
So,
Wow. Wow. Steve, were you in any bands before pre, or did you?
I was in a couple bands in high school, and we would play. The band was good enough to play out. A bunch of high school kids, but we played like college frat party dances and dances at other high schools and stuff back when they had bands playing for dances in high school. And so we got our feet wet that way. And then a couple of years after high school, I didn't do anything. And then uh, I wound up actually, I met Dwight Dunlap, our drummer in pre in Lexington when I was up there going to school. And he and I kind of hit it off and played together well. And we had a little cover band up there. And then I moved back to Hopkinsville, and he called me one winter day and said, "You need to come up here. We need to start a band." And I wasn't doing anything. I was working a day job at a clothing store here in town. I said, "You know what? I'm coming." He said, "You can live in my parents' basement for a while." So I did.
Did he talk it over with his parents first?
I guess. I hope that lived there for a few weeks, but uh, he he and I started scouting around for other people, and I guess that's where you came into the picture, Al. Was we found out you and Larry were in town looking for musicians, weren't you?
well, we talked to Brian first, and Brian said, "Well, I know some people that are playing," and I guess Brian got it together from there.
Good. But there was an agency there in Lexington, and that was kind of a place for musicians to congregate to, maybe see about getting together or whatever. And that's kind of how we all wound up getting started.
Okay, we'll talk about some of the early rehearsals and things like that. How you honed your chops. Yeah.
We were going to be a cover band,
Oh, it's okay.
right, Al?
Yeah, we worked up a lot of Yes and Allman Brothers and stuff like that.
And
Songs that I don't remember.
yeah, it was just kind of, something didn't feel right about it. And one day, I don't know if it's you, Al, or if it's Larry, said, "We've got some tunes of our own." And I said, "Well, let's hear them."
Yeah.
And from there, it just kind of blossomed. I was okay. Well, forget all that other stuff. We're doing this, and that's how we got started.
Yeah.
And what we from the time we got together until we went in the studio was about 5 weeks, I think, wasn't it, Al?
Yeah, and it was so fast it was over before we knew it. It was so fast.
Well, were you playing live in it during this time at all?
Yeah,
Local
yeah,
bars.
yeah. We
We
played.
did. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we played the JAMF Club,
Yeah,
which was kind of like half biker, half student bar.
yeah.
Okay. Which half was the student? Which half was the biker? The top
The
half,
bar
or
side.
the bottom. And I was going to say
Biker was the room,
the top
band
half or
room.
the bottom half. Just joke.
Yeah, there were a bunch of UK students there, I think. The night that Brian caught his beret on fire with a sparkler.
How did that happen?
Brian liked to dress up, and he was in like tights and
He had feathers in that hat.
feathers in the hat. He decided he'd put a sparkler in the hat, light it, and just before we went on stage, And so we got up there and launched in the first song, and we looked over and Brian's hat was on fire. He had to run out the door of the club and throw the hat out. And I don't know if we stopped playing or if I think we kept going. And
Oh, we kept going.
he ran out and ditched the hat and then came back and we finished the song.
It was a hot song.
Oh, yeah, literally. Huh? Oh, that's funny. I like to hear stories like that. Wow. Well, what was the largest crowd you guys played in front of?
We opened with a different drummer for Climax Blues Band. That was a big crowd.
Oh,
And that was cool. They were great. They were great.
They were a lot of fun.
what is the? I'm going to edit this part out because now I don't remember his name. I interviewed uh, Climax Blues Band. Yeah, you see, I do so many that I can't keep track of everybody's name. That's the bad part about doing so
Well,
many.
I've really liked your interviews.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's hang on a second. Let me get this because he's the one. Do you remember the song "I Love You"?
Yeah.
Okay, he's the one that sang that one. He's the
Pete
one.
Haycock.
Yes, it was Derek Holt. Derek Holt.
Oh, Derek was the
Yeah.
bass.
Yeah, he's the one that sang that song. And yeah, so I talked to him probably a couple of years ago. Yeah, really nice guy. All right, anyway, back to what we were talking about. Okay, so you're kind of playing. Is there like a circuit there where you guys would play?
Yeah,
A
I
live
don't think there
circuit?
was.
No, no,
I
no.
don't remember any. It's kind of like it was anything went at that in those days. You know, whatever you
We
played.
didn't really have management, did we, Al?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
We didn't really have management.
No, we didn't. And those ones we go into weren't much help. So
Um,
You,
so
yeah.
it was kind of like, well, we just played it by ear, and when we got the first uh, songs down and mixed, we headed to New York because Al knew some people in the record business up there.
yeah, I'd met George Mayer had Walrus magazine from Philadelphia. He I played stuff for him and he said, I can't do anything with this, stuff like that. And then the last time we played pre for him, he said, oh, this is great. And he called Stuart Love up at Columbia, said, you need to talk to these guys. And we did, but you know, it didn't go very far.
Well, Stuart got fired the day we were in his office. Huh?
Oh, did he?
He was on the way out when we were on the way out while he was on the way out. So.
He and Clive Davis both got fired that day, right?
Yes, that's true.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember someone stopped us on the way out and said,
yeah.
we liked your band, but it's nothing to you. It's just Stuart's having problems today.
Oh God.
FBI.
Speaking of Zeppelin, in through the outdoor, right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, let me ask you about the album itself. It's a pretty ambitious effort, I got to say. Was there an overall theme or concept behind the album?
We just did it. I mean, the thing about recording that, we played all that music live. We
Okay.
did some overdubs, but you could hear little mistakes in it, but we pretty much did that song live and redid the vocals and things like that. But it was an amazing thing to do. I mean, we were pretty proud of it at the time.
Long songs. I mean, even the Ballet for a Blind Man, which was what, like 18, 19 minutes long, something like that. We played that thing start to finish in the studio and then went back and did overdubs,
Yes.
which was kind of unheard of back then. You know, where Yes was doing like 10 seconds of music a day at a time when they were working on Close to the Edge or whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, I get that. But I mean, we just kind of, we hammered away at those songs so much that we were really tight by the time we went in the studio.
Yeah.
And these guys, the engineers in the studio, were used to like doing these little
Country music.
country music, gospel, things like that.
Right.
We went in there and they were younger guys, so they thought, "Hey, this is cool.
Yeah.
We can actually get our teeth into."
Well, that's what I was telling Steve before we started, Al, that Kentucky's not really known as the hotbed of prog rock, so it's kind of strange. I'm sure you got that reaction from
But, Lexington's been kind of like the minor league team for Nashville because you had
Yeah.
a lot of people here, like Montgomery Brothers, banjo player. I can't think of his name.
Well, didn't Shirley Daniels hang out in
Yes,
Lexington
he
for a
recorded
while?
in the same studio.
Oh, did he? Okay. All right. Yeah. You know, and then like you said, Nashville's not far. Yeah. You know. Wow. Well, how long were the songs? You know, how long did they take? You know, to kind of compose and write for the album?
We we had a couple of weeks.
Okay.
We had nowhere to go, so we just worked on them. And Steve had an apartment with a dirt floor, and we got to practice in there. And when we
Did
didn't
you?
have a room, we slept in his dirt floor. We went from sun up to sundown often,
There's
just
actually an
playing
old
the song.
house in Lexington, and you guys we set up in the basement. And a bunch of students.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like 10 different students, or 9 college students and me renting different bedrooms in there, and so we set up in the basement, and they all kind of put up with us with the noise.
They tolerate
We just rehearsed in the daytime, of course, but
it. Oh, right,
uh,
right.
but we really worked hard at it,
Yeah.
and I
Well,
think
well,
that shows in the music. Probably.
yeah, it does. Well, what was the writing process? Was it music, then lyrics, or vice versa?
Oh, I think music came first,
Came first. All right.
and which is why I think a lot of times when I listen to it, I don't think the lyrics were ever really finished. Yeah, and they give me that feeling, but we plugged those in with the music.
Yeah, yeah. Well, tell me some stories from the recording session.
Well, Steve managed to rent a Moog synthesizer for us, so we had one day with a Moog to do overdubs with a Moog, which was
And
pretty
nobody had a
cool.
Mellotron anywhere around, so we couldn't
No,
get a Mellotron.
Oh,
Those were the 2 keyboards that every prog band
oh, that's too
had
bad.
to have. We didn't have a
Yeah.
Mellotron. I also got a
of course I
Mellotron.
have one now. It's
Yes,
sitting
one
right
now.
there. I've got the new one that's all digital.
Yeah, yeah.
It's cool.
Oh, yeah, the mellotron. That's one of my favorite instruments. You know, I think the first time I heard it was Moody Blues, the way they use it. Yeah, you know, but I love
And
that sound.
Strawberry Fields
Oh, yeah, and that's right. Strawberry Fields on there too.
and
But
Bee Gees. Bee Gees were a big Mellotron band.
Oh yeah, they were.
I, I heard it's so heavy. Once you got it in a place, you really didn't want to have to move it again.
I had one I could move it myself if I was strong.
If you were strong, okay.
The
Yeah.
person I bought it from carried it in his Volkswagen. He took the back seat out. He'd carry it in his back seat of his car.
Did he?
I bought it from him.
His car was probably going like this, you know.
Yeah, he put his Marshall amp and his Mellotron and his guitar on the Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh, wow, that's something. Well, well, so the band couldn't secure a label, a recording contract. Was that why it wasn't released at the time?
Well, we kind of run out of time. Money was a big factor, and I think anybody will tell you, if you're not making money, then it's hard to sustain a band, especially in recording is so expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we tried. We did get a contract 20 years later.
Yes, yes,
So
yes. Yes, you
Better
did.
late than never.
now we've got a new one with George 50 years
Right,
later.
right, you do. Well, let me ask you about that. The one with that came out 20 years later, uh, the ZNR records. Did they do a lot of cleaning up on it and that kind of thing?
No,
No, it was
they
pretty
didn't.
much like it was
They got
originally.
it mastered in New York
Uh-huh.
by a jazz person. I can't think of his name, but I think the last thing I heard when they took the tape, put some more treble on this. So I mean, that's about all they did.
Yeah. Wow. Well, let me say, talk a little bit about the album cover. It gives it that proggy feel. It looks like a hypnosis design, is it?
Yeah. Uh, well, Steve Roberts of ZNR, Zutnik and Roberts, he hired an artist to do that,
Okay.
and
Okay.
we just said, well, we're not going to interfere. Just go do what you want,
Okay. Yeah.
and that's what he did.
It
I
really
like
looks like,
I liked what he came up with.
yeah. It's real evocative of that hypnosis. You know, I like all their album covers that they
And I
did.
think pinball on it though,
Yeah. Yeah.
hypnotic pinball.
Yes. Well, the
a good
entire
song
album.
title, Al.
Right, right. Well,
We'll have to write that.
yes, the entire album is very accomplished, I gotta say. Lots of variety and well-written and executed songs
Well, thank you.
throughout the album. Yes, yes. Uh,
Pretty
Almost,
amazed when I listen to it that I think back and I think I was 20 years old when we
yeah,
were,
right,
I, you know,
right.
I barely knew which end of a bass to blow in, but seriously, and to think that we came up with that stuff.
Yeah.
Right,
It was just brand new every day
right,
from the start.
right.
And then
And
one day it wasn't there. So,
if you played the songs, you played the album for somebody and said, "Don't tell them who it is, where the band's from, or anything." Of course, me and I think a lot of people would say, "Well, that's a UK band. That's a British band, first off,
UK,
and
Kentucky,
not Kentucky, not from
UK,
Kentucky."
Kentucky, University of
Oh
Kentucky.
yeah, that's right, University. There you. Hey, that's good. I
We
like
were the alternate UK.
I like that. I like that. UK. You're right. Well, I want to mention a few of the tracks and maybe get your backstory or inspiration behind them, or any kind of recollections at all, if you would, either one of you, but both
Well,
can
I'd be
chime
glad
in.
to contribute. I know Steve has a lot of
Okay,
interest in it. So,
okay. Well, I really like the first two especially. I mean, it's a nice way to break into the album. The intro, "Path," I like that one, and then "Who's Laughing Now."
yeah, that was a demo. We were trying to write a song like a Led Zeppelin, "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You." That was the
Yes,
idea, and that's
yes,
what came out. So,
yes,
um, it's kind of was kind of a dark song. So, I mean,
yeah.
that's all I can say about it. But the first thing, that was a total band right, wasn't it? The Path. That was kind of. I just remember we played it and everybody added their part.
Yeah. And Larry always got a lot of people were always interested in the way he played with the viola bow.
Oh, right, right.
Um,
I like that addition to it. Yeah, the oboe. I do. I do.
In the vein of Nice and Zeppelin,
mm.
the Nice, the bass player played with a viola bow in the Nice, which that's the first person I ever saw do that.
I couldn't do that. I don't wouldn't want to get rosin all over my Rickenbacker.
Rosin. Okay. Well, now I know you guys have probably heard this a million times, and we've already referenced the band a couple of times earlier. But your vocals recall John Anderson a whole lot, and that's not a knock at all. I mean, but very
Well,
much, very
John Anderson was, the idol.
yeah,
He was the god of that music.
right,
He made the. I heard him on King Crimson Circus, and I thought I've got to hear
right,
this guy.
yeah, yeah.
So
And you couldn't help it. You're in a higher register anyway, the vocals.
above middle C,
Yeah.
country music is sing below middle C.
Oh, all right, all right, all right. Well, I hear a big Yes influence again in the music on Water Meeting. I hear Yes.
You,
Yeah.
that was the band thing. They did came in one day to practice, and I was listening. And they were doing that song.
Yeah.
I said, "Let's put that together," and then we wrote the
Some
lyrics and
ELP in
vocals.
there too, but
Oh yeah, ALP. Yeah, yeah, yes.
it was that was a fun piece to play. We played that live a few times, I think, didn't
Yes,
we?
yeah.
Yeah.
Any other stories surrounding that, or
Well, it was a good
I
song.
think
We enjoyed
we
it.
got a better sound out of the studio the second time around, and that was on the second session later on that summer when we recorded Water Meeting. Um, and Dwight had just bought a new set of Vistalite drums, and they were loud.
yeah,
They rang a lot, and the engineer was really having a hard time trying to get a good sound out of them. I said, "Well, let's just try miking them overhead and put a mic on the snare and a mic on the kick drum." And that's the way we wound up miking the drums, and they sounded really good that way. And that kind of reminded me of the way Jimmy Page got the sound out of John Bonham's drums
yeah, yeah,
when the levee breaks. Uh,
yes,
uh,
yeah.
so maybe we were ahead of our time. I don't know.
You may have been. You may have been.
Well, Larry and I played tape of that from Mario Medius, and he liked it. But he
Mhm.
said he liked Bowing Down more and that we should do more songs like that. Of course, that was the last day the band was together. So,
Okay, well, that was my next track, and it's a nice interlude. Is that now is that a cello on that one?
guitar bow.
Oh, guitar bow. Okay,
Or
I
with
did
the cello.
acoustic guitar and Larry played
okay,
bowed
okay,
guitar.
okay. I like that sound. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Easy to recreate live if you know how.
All right. Again, I'm sorry for the cough. Uh, Ascetic Eros. Again, I keep referring to Yes, but I hear Yes again.
Yeah,
And
that
now
was
the
probably my
vocal.
favorite song of the bunch to sing.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
and that's
wish
probably
I
the
wish I spent
close
more
to yes.
time on the lyrics and had a better
yeah,
storyline.
yeah.
But it's still the one I still sit down and play that on acoustic guitar.
Oh, do you? Okay.
So all this time,
That that there's one part in Ascetic Eros, Al, where Larry's getting ready to do his little solo in the middle of the fast portion there, and you're holding a note
oh
a long time. You remember? And you didn't.
yeah,
That's not a
it was
tape
kind of
thing.
like a bed. How long can you hold it? And I thought,
How
well, I
did
can
you
hold it
manage?
long.
Did you just take a big breath beforehand, or
Yeah, yeah. I'll cross my fingers. You know,
Uh,
couldn't do it now.
and you had to turn around and harmonize with yourself?
yeah. Yeah.
That was great fun. Yeah, that was the first time in the studio I got to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so what you were hearing were like that's the first time I ever did it and stuff. So
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
it
I think
was
we were all having fun.
Yeah. Well, kind of a organic recording too, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. It's harder to do that these days. Having everybody in the same room, it doesn't happen very often.
Well, I don't understand, where they say, okay, we're going to have a click track, and then we want to put the drums down first,
Yeah.
and then you can put your bass part next, and then we'll go from there. And I think let's play it as a band.
Yeah.
yeah. Writing by myself, I'll do that, but that's
Yeah.
because I'm by myself.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I think the best recordings come out that way. It's a whole band effort.
whole band, yeah.
Exactly. Well, Child of Sorrow. I think this one could have been a single. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I remember writing that, but I don't remember what the influence. I think it was going back to folk music. I was trying to revisit my Bob Dylan, Art Linkletter, hootenanny stuff. But yeah, and that's one of the songs that was more of a demo than it was a finished piece. If we'd had more time, it would have been a different song.
Yeah, I like that one though. I like that. Uh, and then Is It You Who's Caught the Blues?
Oh
I
yeah,
think the vocal passage on that one is one of the best moments on the album.
oh yeah, oh thank you. I like that song. To me, that sounds like the Beatles. The
Yeah,
lead
yeah,
is the Beatles. It's George Harrison all the way.
yeah. Right. Speaking of that, don't want to go off on that tangent, but I didn't think George, he's my favorite of the Beatles. And
Yeah, me too.
I didn't think he got his due when he was in the Beatles. Kind of relegated to that one song per album,
His
you know.
his history, documentary history, is still the freshest of the Beatles. When
Yeah,
I watch it on TV, it's still the part that gets me.
yeah, me too. And then of course his solo material after that, just wonderful, wonderful, you know. Well, speaking of the album, it will be released upcoming on January 7th on PQR with additional tracks. What, three additional tracks?
Yeah. I don't know what they are,
Okay.
I know what the songs are, but I don't know which ones he designated for additional tracks.
Oh, so that'll be a surprise to you
Yeah,
too.
it'll be a surprise for me.
Okay, well, that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. And then it's going to be on vinyl and CD. And that's interesting. There's four color choices on vinyl. Did you know that?
I saw that, and then I thought he said there was a clear one and a splatter one. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I hope I get one of each when
You
he
better,
sends it to me.
you better. I'll write him if you don't. I'll go back to him and say, "Hey, Al needs those."
At least one of each, so I can have the whole collection.
Right,
I
right,
put it
right.
on television years from now, get the whole collection.
There you go.
Maybe Al, when the second pressing comes out, you'll be able to do that, or maybe he'll do some more colors.
Yeah.
Well, yes, there are more colors in the rainbow.
In the rainbow, right? Yeah, I want one from every color. Oh
Huh?
yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Wow. Well, that's neat. I like the splash ones that they do. A lot
Yes,
of
I do too.
labels are doing these days. Wow. Well, that's coming up on the 7th. That's exciting news, for fans to and they can pre-order now, right?
I
I
think
believe
so.
so.
Yeah. Okay.
I was telling Greg, Al, you know, after all these years, of course the object of the game when we were in the studio was to come out with a piece of 12-inch vinyl, and finally, what, 52 years later,
And
53
and
almost.
and I still have a turntable, so I'm all excited.
Yeah, I do too. I got
My
mine.
daughter actually got me a Bluetooth turntable a while back, and so I'll be able to listen to it on my wireless headphones if I want to.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating to me, the resurgence of vinyl, how that's come back. Just when you thought it was dead and gone, it's
Yeah,
back.
I
There's a
read.
studio, the resurgence of analog in general. There's a studio in
Yes,
Nashville called Welcome to 1979.
Wow. Yeah.
And the guy that runs the studio refurbishes old multi-track tape recorders like the old Studers and MCIs and whatnot, and
Yeah.
resells them. Pete has 3 of his tape decks in his studio.
yeah.
Um,
Is
He
is
says he's
that
going to run the solo album through those too to get the more of the
yeah,
analog
to
sound.
warm it up a
to
little bit.
get
Yeah.
So
to get
that'll be
that
exciting. Pete's one of the best. He's one of the best engineers that
to,
I've heard.
to get that analog. Oh, wow, wow. So when did you guys first meet with Pete? When did y'all meet?
Oh, I was passing through Hopkinsville on my way to do a writers round in Nashville, and then do a week with Judy Stakey uh, workshop. And I just stopped in to see Steve, and he said, let's go over to the studio. We went over there and played some songs, and I didn't bring any of the lyrics. I was trying to sing these songs, but I couldn't remember the songs. I mean, sometimes you just got to have the sheet music. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was where it started, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what had he been doing? What is his background?
Pete,
Yeah.
Steve knows him better than I do. They were childhood friends. And
Yeah,
Oh,
well, Pete and I played in a band together for like about 15 years called Rock Preservation Society. Cover
oh,
band. And we did classic rock covers, and we played out some, and it was a really good band. And then we lost our guitar player a few years ago, and so we've kind of reconfigured. But he's always been into the studio thing, so he's been building this studio, and it's really something pretty special.
it's probably one of the best in the Nashville area.
Yeah,
Private
really.
private studios. You just
Well, we
don't
had
walk in and play.
Chester Thompson came up and
Yeah,
checked it out.
yeah.
Yeah, and
hey, oh, Chester. Wow. Okay.
he
Yeah.
spent the afternoon there one afternoon, and uh, one of the Wooten brothers, which one, the Future Man, the drummer, he came up and spent some time there checking out the studio. So
Yeah. Now, Chester, that would be a nice interview to get.
he's
Yeah.
a super nice guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just laid back, very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Uh, he's just, and he's got so much talent and
Oh,
so much yet to get. I think he's got some kind of project going on now with a couple other musicians. I'm trying to remember who it was, but uh, Chester's fabulous.
that would be nice. Well, we'll talk about the upcoming solo album, Pre. Uh,
Yes.
and
After before.
yes, I like that. Kind of a
Well, it's a collection
dichotomy.
of songs I redid Loving You Sometimes and called it something different. So that's going to be a surprise. I love doing it. That after all that time, I finally got it to where I can listen to it. Um, and just songs I've been doing. I did a couple of, well, I did the Nashville songwriting thing, where you go and spend a week with people and you meet real famous writers and they listen to
Oh,
your stuff. And
yeah.
uh, uh, one of the people I listened to was Tom Shapiro, who's just a fantastic producer. He did the last Dusty Springfield album, and he wrote "Don't Give Up on a Good Thing" for George Benson. So I had him for like 6 hours, so that was pretty good. And he said, "I can't sell that." And then then before it was over, he said, "Okay, it's getting better." So, but these are all songs I've been carrying around and writing for years, and the newest one is the Brooklyn Girls that just sort of just came out. So that's just at home, and the recording, the vocal recording on it, I did in my house. So that's going to be, it's different than the other songs. So we tried to get as much variety as we could. Just no song the same.
There's plenty of variety on the album. He's got some really cool stuff going on.
Yeah. That's something to whet your appetite. Yeah, to hear about that.
One song I wrote with a really good Canadian writer, Nadia Bosch Ilani. She plays with a guy named George Tennant, and they play soul music kind of thing. But she helped me write one of the songs, and I was really appreciated that because it was good to bring that into it because I had a little more variety that direction. So
variety is the way to describe it. It's anywhere from bluegrass to Steely Dan, really.
Yes, I heard Steely Dan on it this time.
We
still threw some Yes stuff in it. I mean, I'm always going to be fond of Yes.
Yeah, there's Mellotron in there, right, Al?
Yes.
Okay, there is Mellotron this time. Okay. Then I'll definitely want to hear
It's my Mellotron. It's an old recording of it. So
okay, I definitely will want to hear that. Well, speaking of Canadian musicians, I talked to, remember the band Lighthouse, the Canadian band Lighthouse?
Yes.
Okay. I talked to Paul Hoffert, who was one of the founding members. He was originally from New York, but he...
Is that the same Lighthouse that toured with David Crosby?
It may be. They were similar to Chicago. They had the brass, but they also had strings.
Okay. Those are two women.
Different.
Song called "One Fine Morning," wasn't it?
Yes, it was. So it was a nice interview, with him. But yeah, One Fine Morning. Yeah, they were huge in Canada. But that sounds wow. Okay.
Yeah, I saw David Crosby in his Lighthouse the second night they ever played in Danville, Kentucky, at a small place. They were trying to play small places before they went out.
Yeah.
Crosby had it all the time. He was in his mid-80s, and he still had his voice.
Yes. Right. Yeah, speaking of, not Crosby, Stills, Nash, but the Byrds, talking about the Byrds, Gene Clark. I liked his solo material that he did.
Got his first solo album.
Yes, after the Byrds.
The Virgin was the song that I liked.
Oh, yeah. There's some very different from the Byrds, but very, very nice.
He sounded like a supersonic Jim McGuinn.
Yeah.
They both were similar.
Right.
But he seemed to do it better. Sorry, Roger, I didn't mean to say that.
No.
I've seen Roger McGuinn play a couple of times solo, and he's really good live.
Oh, I imagine so. Wow. Okay. Well, that's something for fans to look forward to too. Your solo album. Wow. And
it's been a long time. It's been over a year. We started it that first day we got together, just by accident, and said, "Well, let's come back and do some more."
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Steve and Pete have been really great about doing it. It couldn't have been done without them. And they got another guy with them, Ryan Jones, who's done some work with Wynton Marsalis.
Oh, okay.
And he teaches college at Austin, PA, in Tennessee. But some good players.
I was going to ask you about Ryan. Okay. And then your brother Larry.
One song called "The Blondes and the Bees."
Yeah.
Hiding in the clover, waiting there for you and me.
Okay. What's the age difference between you and Larry?
5 years.
Okay.
5 years.
You senior or junior?
I'm older.
Okay.
We have an older half sister and another half sister.
Okay. Yeah. There's 6 years difference between me and my brother, and I'm the oldest too. And I was telling the guy I had an interview earlier. I said he still tells this story, how I sleep deprived him when he was a teenager, because I would buy albums and stuff, and we would start late at night, and I would like, here, listen to this. I kept trying to turn him on to everything in my bedroom. It's like, listen to this. And then we would get into the wee hours. I'd play 2 or 3 albums, and then he's starting to nod off, like this. And I'm like, I got one more, don't fall asleep yet. And now he tells the story. It's like, all those hours that I missed sleeping, you made me stay up listening to the music, And,
Yeah, I think Larry and I deprived our parents of sleep.
Oh, did you?
We just played it all night long in the room.
Your parents, yeah. There's a few years difference here, of course, but I remember having my transistor radio when I was young and listening to it. 69 it was. Speaking of George Harrison, hearing something on there, and also Peter, Paul, and Mary, Leaving on a Jet Plane. I remember those two specifically.
Yeah. And they're the first ones I heard do it. It's all right. It's all right, babe. Anyways, they did that song. And,
yeah.
Ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe.
Babe, yeah.
That was the one that got me.
Think twice, it's all right.
Yeah, don't think twice. It's all right. Yes.
It's all right. Somebody else's song.
Yeah. Of course, Leaving on a Jet Plane are written by John Denver.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, what a talent there. But yeah, I would listen to it at night, and have it turned down, but my parents could still hear it. They were like in the next room. Turn it down. They kept coming in, turn it down,
I remember I liked Stu Ball was a racehorse. I played that all the time. Stu Ball was a racehorse. I wish he was mine. I never drink water. I'd always drink wine.
Right.
Al, did you have a habit of coming home after school when you were in high school and playing or practicing guitar?
Yeah, what I could. There was a lot. There was, like you say, Little League baseball. And
yeah.
Just my deal was I'd come home and I'd spend a couple hours in my bedroom with the bass every afternoon after school, pretty much, because I didn't play sports, so that was my go-to. And I'd go in there and shut the door and I'd play until it was time for supper.
Yeah. Well, that was your outlet. Yeah, it was. Speaking of baseball, I used to collect the baseball cards too. Do you remember those? Well, I guess they still have them. Tops, Fleer, that kind of thing. I was really, went down to like the convenience store. Every Monday they would come in, a shipment. We'd be there, early, when they opened, waiting to, buy some packages of those, Remember, and the gum they always came with gum. Yeah. Yeah. Really stale. Yeah. Remember those days too. So
I get jelly beans with that flavor.
Oh, jelly beans. Yeah. Gum flavored. Wow.
It's flat too.
Yeah, it's not real good, huh? Well, anything else, guys? That you like we might have omitted or you like to mention or plug or anything?
I'd like to thank George 100 times.
Yeah, really.
Oh yes.
I'd like to thank you too.
Yes.
It's been fun doing this.
Okay.
And I didn't even have to ask you what kind of toothpaste you use.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and Al and I have some plans after we get the Opera Pre project out that he and I are going to do some stuff together.
Oh, okay.
Maybe try to get everybody from Pre on some of it.
Oh, all right. Wow. Are the guys still around?
They are.
Okay. All right. Yeah. See what can develop there. That would be nice. So that may be something else in the development coming up. All right. Well, that sounds good. All right. Well, you guys are staying active and see how well this goes with PQR and
it's great. It's just going to be, I can't, like I said, I can't thank him enough for this.
Right. Now, will Opera Pre be on PQR as well, or?
Probably not.
Okay.
We'll have to figure out. It'll probably be on Opera Pre.
Okay.
Opera Pre Records.
All right, your own label.
Homegrown.
Yeah.
Miracle Records. If it's a hit, it's a miracle.
Right. That's sometimes the best way. Yeah. All right. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you for your time and for sharing, going back in that time machine with me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks for waiting for me.
oh, you're welcome.
I
It was
couldn't believe it. I
well,
thought, oh
well,
man, spent all week getting my equipment together and it's not going to work.
well, that's all. It happens with technology. It does happen. So, sometimes mine will, most of the time it works, but I've had a few little glitches here and there, but we're just glad that we made it happen. You know. So, all right, guys. Well, again, all the best to you guys.
Thanks,
And
Greg.
continued
Thank you, Greg.
success. And keep on keeping on, all right?
Yes, we'll try.
All
As
right.
Brad Pitt says, I try.
I tried. There you go. I like it. All right. Well, I'll say bye for now, but not forever.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Goodbye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Once I chased a shadow moving through the trees, whispered my name and fell silent. I stood there alone until you came along. Looking for you. The hedge that runs along the way, a hawk in a restless flight, a 12-fold stream we waded in. Every now and then, shadows hiding in the dream. Afraid of dark, murky water. Though I've never looked back, all the things I used to see burn my bridge, crossing over, waiting in a backwater dream, not knowing who or where I am, waiting in a backwater dream. Chasing shadows, I heard thunder shattering the air. Dogs were restless and frightened. Walked across the cattle guard, down the gravel road, always looking for you. The hedge that runs along the way, a hawk in a restless flight, a 12-fold stream we waded in. Shadows hiding in the dream. Afraid of dark, murky water. Though I've never looked back, all the things I used to see